All right, so I started the stream, before anything else, just to check that Live EDU is
Hello?
working and Twitch is working.
Did you check Live EDU?
Yeah, Live EDU is working now.
Right, I'm gonna go on Live EDU.
However,
So are we live right now?
live stream is. I mean, Live EDU is working, but it's buffering. And let's see Twitch. So Twitch has the same issue that it's buffering.
Okay, so this looks like a third-party issue with the multi-platform API.
Okay, so I started the stream again, and this time it should be better. So let's see if it's better.
I see Live EDU.
Yeah, the thing is not seeing it. The thing is that it's going to be smooth.
No, it's not smooth.
All right, luckily we started early.
Yes. We have 10 minutes to resolve this issue.
So what's the issue? You're not seeing it smooth?
Yeah, it's just lag. It seems like, but if both Live EDU and Twitches have the same issue, it's probably not the platform.
Yes. So I see that issue. So let's see if it's better now.
Okay. Okay, I'm testing Live 80.
Okay, it looks a lot better for me.
It's a lot better. Although it's still lagging. What what setting are you changing to make this improvement?
Yeah, I mean, it looks good to me.
Live video is still lagging. Would you open up a SSH session for me?
Yeah, just 1 second. Let's see first that everything is working. Stream again. And let's see what it does. Okay, so this looks much better to me.
Yeah. I'm still is it better for you?
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, this looks very good. This looks very good.
Okay. This is pretty smooth for me.
Yeah, it's looking good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I figured out what the problem was.
What was the problem?
Uh, uh, let's leave it. It's just a couple settings that need to be addressed.
Okay.
All right. So, um, let's see what we have here. So,
Most ambitious streaming. I need SSH. SSH. I can never pronounce that. It's so weird. SSH.
SSH is so simple.
Can you do that again? Can you say it? SSH?
SSH. It's like the
S?
simplest thing in the world. It's double S and then H.
Can I double SH? Can I double S and H? SSH.
Anyone. Specific people. How do I share
Oh, you want to share this to the chat room?
no, I mean I want to share it with I want to share a link to it so people can view it in real time.
Yeah.
So can view.
Can edit.
Don't really see a way to do it. Right. Okay, so we have 3 more minutes, so we can still kind of figure things out. Tools. So how do I share this?
Just click share. Get a shareable link.
Anyone it cancel dev. Off only specific people. No. More. No, that's not what I want. So let me try do it differently. You know what I don't understand though? I don't understand why OBS is so taxing on the computer.
Well, streaming is a heavy duty task, right?
Well, that's what I don't understand. I don't understand what's so heavy duty about it.
It's image processing.
Yeah, okay. So what's so heavy duty about it that it needs to like completely destroy my computer?
It's probably just inefficient. But is OBS like the mainstream product to use for streaming? Let me Google this. What is OBS
And
streaming? OBS streaming. Open Broadcaster software. OBS Studio, free and open source software for video recording and live streaming. Help.
all right. So here we are. We have this one here. So we're going to start a technical design here.
Can I SSH?
Oh, yes. So go path cancel dev JD flow. Okay, so we have this. Let's just resize the screen. Let me just grab an SSH for you just a second. So this is here. So it seems like OBS is stabilizing as well. All right, so tmux new session pairing, and you should be good to go.
Yep.
Just like zoom out or something. Right. Zoom out again. Okay, cool. So this looks good. All right. So we are officially on. And we've been on for the last couple of minutes, I guess, with all the streaming issues. And you're watching live EDU, so you kind of need to let me know how things are looking.
It's looking perfect.
Great. So let's begin with kind of a summary of what we kind of want to do. So if we go to the fullstack.network, which is our blog for this streaming sessions or series.
Good job getting the domain name. I didn't realize that in the beginning.
Yeah, it took a bit of time to set up.
I can't believe you're able to get it. I can't believe this is not taken.
I bought a bunch of .network domains.
Are you trying to make money off of that?
No, I just want to open up blogs and kind of do things with them. I'm not trying to sell them or make money on them. By the way, Medium charges you $75 for a custom domain.
What? Like a year?
No, it's just a one-time fee.
That's pretty crazy. Like,
well, it's the thing is that most of it is the SSL certificate.
Okay.
You see, so they have this certificate here, and
okay, it's SSL. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how you kind of see the information. Location.
Is that like the main business for Medium? Charging people?
No, I mean it's pretty okay. I mean it's really not that big of a deal. It's just that it's not automatic, so you kind of need to send them an email, and then they set this up for you, and then it's like a bunch of manual things. But I've done everything today, so it's not that big of a deal. It's not like it's taking weeks. They're pretty responding pretty fast, and doing everything pretty quickly. So kudos to them. They really do it pretty nice. Okay, so we kind of talked this morning about what we're doing and what my plan is with this, and we kind of talked about sticking with a schedule that is pretty ambitious, for me, with like balancing everything that I have going on, and the goal behind it is to get to work on things that I want to work on, without having to kind of always postpone things, and just get to things that I want to work on. All right. So I have a few things and a few projects that I want to work on. One is, and let me see if we have it here. Jira and Git and GitHub integration. And I want to explain a bit about what this is for me, right? So I have a sample issue here open up for the company I work for, Globality. And you see this is test issue. Please ignore me. And you see I don't have anything really set up. This is really just a simple issue, right? So let's say I have a project, and for just for the sake of things, let's say right now the project that I'm working on now is part of globality, right? And let's say I want to start working on this, right? So,
Do you want to briefly explain what Jira is?
well, so I think everybody kind of knows what Jira is, because Jira is just like any other issue tracking. It's just an issue tracker, right? That's it. I mean, there is a lot of smart kind of things that Jira does that others don't do, but because it does smart things, it's also pretty cumbersome to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, and I talked about it before. For me, I live here. I live in the terminal. So for me to open up the browser and say create issue, and then wait for this, and this is slow, right? It's create this and then start summary and leaving this and doing that is just taxing. It
Okay.
just slows me down a lot.
Okay.
So for us, like the convention is to say git checkout. So git checkout dash b feature, and then you see the ID of the issue, and then some title of the issue, right?
Okay.
So I mean, if you think about it, this can be highly automated,
Yeah.
because what I can do is git I don't know, let's say JG flow, right? Start, and then this,
Yeah.
right? And then this will go check out the API, and then do this, like the checkout, based on the title here. So it will be like, it will be git checkout feature, and then this, right? So this will be test issue, please ignore me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing, so this is one, right? So one is um, mention, so let's do, I don't know, summary, right? I don't know, something like that. So one would be mention an issue by ID, and then get or check out a branch with the correct name, right? The second thing is that now I'm under this branch, right? So glob
Okay.
9387 test blah blah blah, and we have a GitHub and Jira integration that is kind of internal um, to to Jira and GitHub. And every time I have this prefix as part of a ticket, then I will have here, like on the side, I will have a branch created and a branch merged and so on and so forth. So it's kind of nicely integrated in that. But again, once you have this title already, right? So once, and let's say you forgot this, right? Then you don't have this nice integration. So the second thing is that every commit in this branch will automatically have a link to the ticket.
So who is tracking who? So the ticket, like every time you create like a branch with ID, it will go to that ticket. Is that correct?
Yeah, it will say branch created, and let me try and grab something as a sample here. Just 1 minute. So let's do Jira. And let me open up just 1 second here, and I'll show you on the browser. Um, Okay, so here's an example from one of the other stories here, and you see this is some bug that was filed,
Okay.
right? And you see here, like on the right side, two branches, two commits, latest 5 hours ago, and two pull requests that are merged, right? So this is pretty nicely, nicely integrated. But again, I had I needed to have the discipline to do it and to name the branches correctly, right? So,
So those branches and commits are manually added.
well, they're not manually added. Once you create the branch with this schema, with this name, so you
Yep.
have this in the name, then it will integrate it into those comments. But the commits don't have a link to the ticket. So if you imagine you looking at the Git log or you're looking at the commit, it's hard to kind of tell which ticket it belongs to, and there is
Got it.
not a nice link between the pull request and the ticket. So if you have the pull request description or something like that, then you don't have a link with a description or something of that nature.
Okay.
So that's one. And so that's one and two. So every commit in this branch will automatically have a link to the ticket, right? So and the third is to have create issue from the terminal specifying templates. So issue templates. So say you have a DevOps issue, you have a platform issue, you have an open source issue, and so on and so forth, right? So this is in a way the CLI. So it needs to do three things, but it needs to do them well,
Okay.
right? Um, and this is Jira, but imagine you can do it with Trello, you can do it with Pivotal Tracker, you can do it with pretty much anything, right? So in the past, Git Tracker, I think so. I think this is the name. So I forked a project called Git Tracker. No, it's not
Okay.
Git Tracker. Was it? Let me see here. Git something. Let me see. Yeah, Git Tracker. Okay, so you see what this does is every time you have this ID of Pivotal Tracker, it will automatically add this into the comment of the commit,
Mm,
right?
okay.
So if you do git commit dash m look this rad or something, then it will have the commit you mentioned and then another link to the issue ID.
What happened once you rebase? Does it keep the
Well,
old comments?
yeah, well, Rebase doesn't have anything to do with this tool because this is the commit message. You can reword the commit, or you can um, remove the commit or anything like that, right? This only kind of matters to the commit
Okay.
domain. All right. So it's it's a pretty nice tool, nice little tool to help automate some of the things that you work on in the day to day. So we so that's basically the project, right? That's the first project I want to work on. This will solve so many issues for me in, just okay. So let's, so now I'm in the flow. I'm coding. I'm doing something. Blah blah blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just create an issue to track something. Right.
Yeah.
I want to just create an issue that will track, hey, I need to fix this part, or hey, do this, or hey, do that, right? And imagine that. Think about it, right? So let's say I'm here. So I have this something here, right? So this is Go code.
Okay.
And you have it. So let's say I'm adding commit here. I'm adding a comment. So to do, I don't know, do this when you have time, right? So think about it. You can also do this, and if this tool is nice enough, then what you can do is you can say git diff main dot go, right, and then grep to do, right? Think about it. So now you have lines, and you say, okay, so now create tickets. So you can create tickets for all of your to-do comments automatically.
I see. I see. I see. I
You
see
know what
what
I
you
mean? So if you think about how nicely this tool can integrate with what you do, because you're in the terminal and this is
Yeah.
a terminal tool, then think about all the different ways you can do things. You know?
Yeah. This is definitely a pretty nice tool for efficiency improvement.
Yeah. Or you can do, um, or you can do vim to do .txt. So let's say, um, so do this, do that, and do the other, right? And you can say cat to do txt, and this gives you 3 lines, and you pipe this into the tool, right? And you say create issue, right? So it doesn't really matter as long as you have as long as you have a line-based input, then you can pipe that into the tool, and the tool will create issues for you, right? So you can grab to-dos, you can grab bugs, you can create issues from CSV file, right? So if you design the CLI correctly, then it's easy to use that tool to automate a lot of the things that you do in the terminal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and the main thing is for me, so Dimitri on live video is saying hello Dimitri, nice to see you again. As always, feel free to ask questions. So the main thing for me, as the person in charge of DevOps and automation, and just general kind of infrastructure and how the company works in terms of release and software quality, not as the architect, but in terms of the on the DevOps side or on the infrastructure side, then for me, if it's easier for you to track issues, then you track more issues. And if you track more issues, your software is better. Period.
Yep. Yep.
Right? So if your software is better, then everything is better. Right? So if you track more issues, then you see more issues coming up, and you identify patterns.
Yep.
If you break the flow with engineers creating issues, and it's hard to create issues, then issues don't get created, and
Yeah.
after a while
They get lost.
they just get lost, right? So
Yep.
to do's just remain in the code for ages, and you just create a branch that is completely, I call them dangling branches, right? I mean, you worked on something, but one thing, nobody knows you worked on it, and it's not for kind of time management, right? Because if you worked on it, it's probably important, but if it's important, that it might be affecting someone else, and if it's affecting someone else, and that someone else might want to know that you're working on that issue, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's a CLI, but it's a it's more than that, right? It's in a way, it's a workflow tool for the company, and as engineers that work in the terminal, then you want it to work with you, and you don't want the tool to work against you.
That's right.
So if you could integrate, Jira, and for us it's Jira, but for you it might be Pivotal Tracker, it might be Trello, it might be any, thing that you work on,
Yeah.
then everything is better, right? Um, awesome. So the thing is, differently than on previous um, screen screencast or live streams, where we start from scratch. I actually started this project 4 days ago.
Like this Jira project.
Yeah.
So how far are you?
Um, well, it doesn't really matter how far I am. I'm gonna leave this part out, and we're gonna start it from scratch.
Okay, that's good. Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to
yeah,
get
yeah.
in.
So what I'm saying is, I already kind of have a direction that I want to go, but I already have this commit, but I'm gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna start the tool from scratch.
Okay.
All right. So
So my question is, do you want to build this as like a potential for to use in multiple platform and outsource it, or does this is it going to be for Jira specific?
so right now, I don't want to overthink the generics of
Mm-hmm.
the project or of the product. I want to deliver it for me, and then if people use it and open issues and say, hey, this is great for Pivotal Tracker, then you can develop a plugin system, and you can say, this is how you integrate it with another system, and this is how you integrate it with a different system. So right now, I don't want to think about, hey, this is, if you want it to be generic, this is how you want to design it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you design it this way, then it's going to be specific to Jira. Right now, I don't care. Right now, I'm going to design it as specifically as I can to Jira. And as, organically this open source project develops or not,
Mm-hmm.
then, um, we're gonna figure it out, right? I mean, it's just code, right? So if someone wants to contribute, and someone if is passionate about it, and his company is working with Pivotal Tracker, then sure. I mean, go ahead and do it with Pivotal Tracker. I mean, I would love to review your pull request. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Um,
makes
but
sense.
I don't want to overthink it and kind of try and make it as generic as possible, without before people are even touching the tool.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so we're gonna start from scratch. So in order to start from scratch, let's think of a name.
Uh, do you want one of these like random engineering name, or do you want something that's more like that refers to the project? So
Just let's think of a name.
let's say um
So think about, you're Chinese. So think
yeah,
about something that is
Chinese.
flow or workflow, or something that is kind of suggesting of what the project does, and give me like the Chinese word, but the Chinese word needs to be catchy, or you know what I mean. So just like something.
um you want to do let me give you a word for this, okay?
All right.
How you?
No, it's
How
too
about that?
no, it's too hard
To pronounce?
to pronounce.
All right.
I mean, think about it. If you tell someone on the phone, "Hey, I've been using this project,"
How you?
how you? It's like, "Oh, how do you spell it?" It's like, "Oh man," we're
All right, let's do something else. Um, Gong.
Go.
Yeah.
You know there's a million goes.
No, not go. Gong.
How do you spell it?
Gong.
All right. Um.
What? If you
So
don't like this one, you're gonna have to come up with some Farsi pronunciation.
let's see. I
Hebrew,
just
Hebrew pronunciation.
let me just make sure that okay. Gong is great. All right. So
Go.
awesome. So let's do this. Description is okay. So we're gonna create the repository.
All right.
And we're gonna add a README. So Dimitri, it's going pretty well. And there is a Google Doc pasted in the chat room, and I also linked to the project details if you want to read more on what we're doing today. All right, so this is README. Okay, so and then we're gonna do commit. Okay, so awesome. So we have MIT license, and we have git ignore and everything else. Awesome. So now we're going to exit this, and we're going to clone Gong, and then we're going to cd into Gong. All right. Looking good.
Awesome.
Okay, so
Gong is awesome.
first thing first is we need to go here and kind of do so first thing first is we're going to need to log into Jira and store credentials on the user's computer locally. So similar to AWS credentials, right? So the second thing, well, here is we're gonna need to come up with, like how do you do that with a terminal, right? So it's gonna be Gong login, right? And it's gonna be login like so. And then this is gonna be prompt you the password, username, and the Jira domain, right?
Yeah.
And then store those in a file on your local computer. So let's say home and then dot gong,
Oh, I love the sound of it.
right?
It's really.
So right.
Yeah.
So this is the first, right? So we before we go any further, we need to do this.
Prompt the password username and store this file on local computer home.com. Is that like a convention? Like in home is like the curly thing. Is that home?
Oh, you mean $sign?
Yeah, like home is the curly
So first use this link the link that I pasted in the chat room, you can, it's a Google Doc, so you can view it online. So $home is always your home. So if you go here, so if we do just 1 second,
$sign is always home.
$home is always your home. Yes. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
So echo $home. This will output the home directory. And it's always writable to that user.
Okay.
Right? So you see its user is Avizarel, which is what we expect.
Got it.
CSRC. All right, so we're gonna need this Gong login first.
All right.
So first thing, I go through when I do a project like this is I go through the kind of the Golang project structure, right? And for me, the way I like to do it is to create a directory called CMD and then the project name, right? So I make dear CMD Gong. And then inside of CMD Gong, so CMD Gong, wait, just 1 second. So make dear -p CMD Gong. And then here, CMD Gong, I have a main.go. And let Vim just create it for a minute while my computer is in heart attack mode again.
It needs some pills.
All right, cool. So we import, just for the sake of this, we'll import FMT, and then we also import GitHub com kensodev Gong, and then we have a main.go, or actually something like a logging.go here. And then this package name is Gong. So, this is kind of the project structure. So if we go look at this one, so we have a CMD Gong, the main.go that requires the main project. And then we have a login.go, which is going to be kind of our logic to, do what we need to do, right?
So the main.go package is supposed to main, not Gong?
So the main.go is the actual command line. What's going to be compiled with the actual command line, and it has to be main.
Okay.
Because main is the only one you can execute.
So it's basically required for every Go project.
Yeah, you need to have at least one main.
And the package is always main.
Yeah, the package is always main.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the package for your internal project, and this is why I have, if you look at the tree here, this is why I have, a CMD and then a Gong and a main inside it. Because if I do go build, it's going to build a command line called Gong.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is good, this is good, this is good. And now we need to look for Golang Jira. And I have this. So, I always look for, and this is not what I want. So Golang Jira GitHub. So I always look for an open source package first. So I think this is the one that I want. Yes, and
What is this package?
so this is just a package like any other open source package. Like you have a Ruby gem, right? So this is just think about it in the Ruby world. This is a gem.
Okay, so it's like API integrations of some sort.
Yeah, exactly. So I am going to install this as part of the main Gong package. Right, so we have GitHub and then go Jira, and then what I can do is go get. Right, so this is go get. So this is going and grabbing this module. This is like npm install or bundle install or
Okay.
this is go get.
So it's just downloading the required library.
Yeah, downloading the required libraries on
What
the
is
project.
FMT does?
FMT is just a format, so it's printing and doing like different things.
Okay.
All right, so we have this package, but even before we go through with this package, we kind of need something different. So we need a way to have commands and arguments on our project, right? So think about it. It's a CLI, right? So if you want to do Gong login, right, then the login is a command on your CLI, right? And if you want to do Gong login dash username kensodev, right, then this is an argument that is part of this command and is part of this CLI. Right, so Gong is the CLI, login is the command, and dash username is the argument of that command.
Okay, I see.
Right.
This is
So you need to specify those, and the way you specify those is pretty, it's pretty much the same on all projects. So it's URFave CLI. So let's go there, and I will show you that. All right, so let's go there. All right, so this is CLI, and as you can see, you can specify commands and usage and so on and so forth, right?
What is this project? What is this?
This is just a way to specify a CLI. So it's think about it as a DSL to design a CLI. So you say, what's the app name, and what's the usage, and what's the action? You know what I mean? So
okay, so this is like a standard.
Yeah, it's not standard, but I mean it's what most people are using.
CLI.new app. So CLI is a package. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
CLI is the package, right?
Cool. Very cool.
Okay, awesome. So now we're going to say app equals CLI dot new app, right? And app dot commands. So this is going to be equals to CLI dot command, right? And then the first command here is going to be name equals login, right? Usage is going to be login to your Jira instance. Action, so this is what it actually does. So this is passing CLI.context, and it returns an error. All right. So actually now, if we go and remove this, and remove this, and we go to CMD, Gong, cd. Oops, sorry, I'm in the wrong folder. Right, so cd cmd gong, and I do go build. Right, so this is unexpected. So this is here, this is here, and go build. I'm missing return. So I don't actually need a return here. I need here, I need app.run and os.args. And then I need to require OS. So go build. CLI.context. What am I missing here? CLI.context returns an error. So let's return nil here. CLI.app has no field commands. All right, so this is commands. Go build. All right, cool. So now we built our project, and as you can see, we have Gong here.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do --help, so you see I have Gong and then log in as my,
Oh, it's already working. So
yeah.
use
So
it.
this is all of the help and version and stuff like that. This is all part of this kind of DSL. And --help and --version and whatever you want, right? So one thing is, let's specify the version. Version flag, the default version flag is defined, CLI.version. Okay, so app.version, awesome. So we can have this. So let's say app.version. So let's do 0, 0 and 1. And if I build this again and I do --help, then you can see the version is 001 here.
Got it. Very nice.
All right. So and if you do gong login --help, then you see the specific ones which we don't have any arguments for.
Login argument. So there are a lot of free stuff coming with this
Exactly.
CLI.
Exactly. So this is very similar. Like a lot of languages have that. So Python has the click library.
Mm.
Let me show you that. So yeah, click, which I use every single day, and you see click.command and click.option, and you have a default, and you have help, and then you have options, and you see it's kind of hello and then count, right? So it's very similar. It's very similar to Python click, and I imagine Node has it, and Ruby probably has 3 or 4 projects around that. So it's something that is pretty standard in the CLI world, to have a library that helps you with all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is cool. So what we need now is to prompt the username and the password and the Jira domain.
Okay.
Right. So for that, segment IO. So github.com segment IO, and they have a library called GoPrompt, or a package called GoPrompt. And it's pretty nice because what it does, it has all of these kind of nice embedded things like choose, and then they have a password, and they have required, and like a lot of things like that, right? So you see prompt.string and like stuff like that. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. So let's go and add that. So we're going to add segment IO go prompt here. Whoops. All right, so this is here. And then here in the action, we are going to say username equals to prompt dot string. Type in your Jira username or email, and then password. And I'm going to show you something nice, right? So let's say this is this. Type in your password. All right, so let's build this. All right, so this is prompt. This is prompt. And now it's probably going to warn me that I'm declaring but not using. So let's do fmt.println. So it's print line and have username and then have password here just for 1 second. So go build fmt. So we're missing fmt. So go build. Awesome. So now we can do gong login. And right, it's going to tell us type in your username and password. And I'm just going to fake it. So fake at fake.com. Right, and now type in your password. Now see something nice, right? So this is like password 1234, right?
Yeah.
But you see something weird here, like the password is showing on the screen.
Yeah.
And we don't want that. So this is what the nice thing about this library is. And if we go here and we say passwords, then we can say password mask like so. Right? So then if we do go build, we can run the login again. So this is my email, fake at fake.com. And then this is the password.
Ah, nice.
Right?
Nice.
So it's pretty nice. And this is the reason to use, libraries like that and packages like that, because it gives you like a really, really nice DSL around, getting stuff like that, right? So domain is prompt dot string, and this is going to be what is the Jira instance URL. I don't know, something like that. Or you know what? So what is your password? And then let's do this. What is your Jira username or email? All right, so let's do everything in question form. Okay? Awesome. So now let's see what we need to do. So now we need to prompt the username and the password, and then we need to store it on your local computer, right?
In the environment file.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nice.
So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So we are going to go to login.go. And we're going to declare a struct here called login details. And this is going to have a username, which is going to be a string. It's going to have a domain, which is going to be a string. It's going to have a password, which is going to be a string. And it's
Why does it have a domain?
Well, because Jira is, you can have your own dedicated domain.
Got it.
So when you have your own dedicated domain, the API kind of goes to that. So let's go to just 1 second. I want to check something. Golang struct default value. I want to check something here. To get default values, let's see if we can do that. One possible idea is to write separate constructor. Yeah, but I don't want to get a separate constructor. I don't want to get a separate constructor, a force method to get a struct. Yep. That's the only way. All right, so I guess that's the only way then. I guess that's the only way.
What's the only way?
Well, I want to enforce something here. So directory here. So directory. Ah, which is a string. Okay. So here's the deal, right? So you know how I work. I verify everything using tests.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, in the tests, I don't want to verify that the file has been created on the user home directory, because in the test I might not have access to that. What I want is to, in the test, I want to pass a different directory, like, I don't know, test fixtures temp blah blah blah.
Okay.
Um, but during like a normal run of the program, I want it to be the home directory. So for
Okay.
that, I want to kind of have a default, and then in the test, I want to bypass the default.
All right.
So what I was looking for is kind of a way, and I kind of know it, going back, going to the back of my mind and saying, I know Go, but what I wanted is a nice way to have a default, but there is no really nice way to have a default other than calling a constructor. All right, so we are going to do something like new login details, like so. And this is gonna go username, which is a string, password, which is a string, and domain, which is a string. And it's going to return a login details, right?
Okay.
So here, what you're going to do is you're going to say login details equals login details, like so, and then username is username, password is password, and directory, no, not directory actually, so domain equals domain, right?
Okay.
And then here, login details dot directory equals user home, and this is just pseudocode, and return login details here, right?
Okay.
Um,
Username. What is login detail dot directory?
so login details dot directory is just a string. I'm assigning a string here.
You're assigning a string.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So here we need to require OS user, right?
Okay.
And then we need to do this. So USR error equals user dot current, right?
User
And then
current.
error. So if error is nil, then login details dot directory is the current directory. Okay.
What is this user object or reference? Where did you get user from?
Here, OS user.
So once you import OS user, you have a user USR.
Mm-hmm. Well, USR is the assignment. So USR and error. So this function returns two values. One, it returns a user, which I assign to USR, and the second, it returns an error, which I assign to ERR.
So what is user dot current supposed to get you? Like what is USR? What is this USR?
So USR I can call USR dot home dir.
Oh, so user is like the user of the
Yeah,
terminal.
yeah. Well, not the terminal, it's user of a program.
All right. Cool.
All right. So, but I want to return this. So let's do this func get user home dir or default. Right. So this is going to return string. Right. So then I want to wrap this with this and return. So this is going to return this, and then this is going to return usr.homedir. And then this one I can actually wrap and say directory equals get user homedir or default.
Okay. Okay, it makes sense.
But actually this is private, so I can do it like this. Okay, and then here I don't need this anymore, so I can say return, and I don't need to assign it to anything. And I need to do this. Okay?
Cool. Go build.
Well, before we go build, we actually need to do something with it. So let's do something with it. So we have a username, we have a password, we have a domain, and now we kind of need to save this file, right?
We need to create like a file in the home directory and save this, right?
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
Yeah. Okay, so now we need to create a method on login details as so let's say save login details, and this is save login details, and this returns what's this gonna return? This returns an error. Okay, are you still with me, or are you like dozing off?
No, I'm with you.
Okay, cool. So first let's remove this main. So we need to save login details. Now, the login details are going to be saved in like a format like this. So username equals like something, and then password equals something, right? So this is called an ini file or an ini file. So we're going to import go ini here. And all right, so
What's a go in I? Go in it?
yeah.
What does it do?
So this is just like a DSL around wrapping, you know, um, um, an ini file, right? So we're gonna do cfg equals ini.empty. So we're gonna create a new ini file, and then cfg dot section, and then we're gonna create an empty section dot new key, and then this is gonna be username, and the value of this is gonna be login details dot so login details dot username, and then we're gonna have a password, and then this is gonna be password, and then we're going to have a domain, and this is gonna be the domain, right?
Sorry, I don't really understand what is the ini file and why do we need it? Like this.
So
CFG.
you need to store a file somewhere, right? And you need to have the file needs to have a format. So either it's a JSON file, or it's an XML file, or it's an INI file. So in INI files, this is the format. So let's do x.ini, right? So the format of an INI file is this. So you have a key and a value. And then key 2 equals value 2.
I
Right?
thought we're gonna have a dot something file.
It doesn't matter, but the format of this file is an INI file.
Okay, the format is okay. The INI is for, okay. Now I see. It's just a file for configuration.
Yeah. And one other thing we need to do here is here fmt.sprint printf is to add HTTPS to the domain. So then this is S and then domain here. So we kind of append the domain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we already have the domain. And then here we do cfg.save to so
I see.
here we have a file location, and the file location is fmt.sprintf, and then this is the directory, and then dot. You know what? For the sake of readability, let's do gong.ini. All right, so that .gong.ini.
Okay.
And then this is going to be the login details dot directory.
Okay.
All right. So then save to, and then this is file location, and let's see ini save to Golang. Yeah, so Dimitri, it's really Dimitri on live edu saying best a JSON file. So I usually I don't know. I mean, it's this thing, right? So Docker uses a JSON file, Amazon uses an INI. So I think for 2 or 3 items, I don't really see a reason to complicate things with a JSON file. All right, so here, save to. All right, so save to returns an error. So we can actually just return this. All right?
Yep.
So now we can build, and it's going to be a miracle. So fmt imported but not used. So let's do here, and here we don't need fmt anymore. But actually here what we need is to require this. So login details equals login dot new login details and username, password, and directory, right? And then login details dot save login details, like so, right?
Okay.
And actually here we can say error equals something, and then if error something, right? So we can say fmt.println error saving login details,
Okay.
right? And then here we're gonna do return nil, and then or actually we need to return the error, and then if not, then we can say print line so 2, 3 file, better use something simpler. I don't really understand, but let's say saved login details to disk I don't know, something like that, right? So now let's do build, and now it's gonna say that I'm using FMT, but I'm not requiring FMT. So let's require FMT, and then go build, login, new login details. Okay, so here we need to now require Gong. So GitHub com genso dev Gong, and then login is gong.new login details, and go build, go Jira. So in login, we are not really using go Jira, so we can remove it now. Go build. Come on. One more. Undefined directory. So directory. Where is the directory? It's saying I have an undefined directory. Main.go. Oh, I don't need directory. So I need username, password, and domain. All right, so now Gong login. So username is fake@fake.com. Password is 1234, and Jira instance is fake.com. All right.
Okay, let's
So
see
now
if the file.
cat.gong.ini, and we have a file.
Awesome.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
So and let's say this now. So let's do Gong login. So 11111 and all 111 and this, and then we can cat, and you can see it bypassed everything. Okay. So now we have this part. So if we go here, then we have this part. So prompt, username in Jira, and store in a file in your local computer, home Gong, right?
Yeah.
So now the third part here is to verify the login is correct, right?
Okay.
So here, why is it so slow? Okay, so this is verify that the login details, verify login is correct, right?
Yep.
And
so basically, once they enter it, we should let them know whether this is a valid credential or not.
Exactly. Right. So for that, we are going to go with Golang, GitHub Jira. So let's go to the project that we watched before. So this is Andy. And then we're going to use a cookie auth. All right, so authenticate with cookie. All right. So you see this, then we're going to have a Jira client, new, blah, 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 everything here. Okay?
Okay.
So now we have login details, right?
Okay.
What we need to do is to verify the login.
Okay.
So here, we save the login. So here comes, a technical design questions, right? So let's go here and say login, right? So we save the login to disk, and then we need to verify the login is correct.
Okay.
Right? So now, imagine this is you designing it, right? This is two different processes. And you need to think about when you save it to the disk, and what do you tell the user, and when do you tell the user. So one step is to save it to the disk, and we already have that, but this process is disconnected to anything, right? It's like completely disconnected.
Okay.
So now you need to verify that. And So the question is, do you save to disk before you verify? Do you save to disk after you verify? And think about, when do you create the object, and what object are you working on when you save to disk and when you verify, and you know what I mean, like so on and so forth. So what would you do, right? So we have the login here, and then here, so first, I want to do something here. So section, and then this equals cfg dot section this, and then here, what's going on?
What is section?
This is an INI file can have sections. All right, so this looks better now. So here's the file, right? So now, what would you do? And also, people in the chat room, if people are watching, how would you kind of design this? You have the object, you created this new login details object. When would you save it? When would you verify it? And think about, the object is not mutatable. Once you create a login details object, you should not mutate it in the same context where you are. So how would you design this? How would you write it?
So I think my first intuition is we need to verify before we write to disk.
Mm-hmm.
So we should call the API and verify the login credential works, and then create the file. If it does not work, then we prompt the user invalid username and password, and we don't create that file.
All right. So you would do login details here, right? So login details. So you would do something like verify.
Yeah.
Right? And this would return an error. And then this would be called save. Right? This is how you do it. So here you would say error equals login details dot verify. And here you would say, what? So this unable to log in. Please check your credentials. And then you would do login details dot save, right? And here you say save login details to disk, and you would say successfully authenticated, saved login details to disk, like so.
Okay.
This is how you do it. I'm asking a question. I'm not.
If we do have an error, let's print it out. Well, over here, even if we got an error, we're still saving the file, so it's not.
No, we return the error here.
Oh, we return the error. So in Go, when you have an explicit return, you return out of the function?
Yeah.
Or do you return out of the entire loop?
No, you return out of the function here. Here you return out of the function. And then here you would say unable to save file to disk. Something?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and design it this way. Okay?
Got it.
So we're going to do verify here. And for verify, we need to go with the Go Jira project here. So let's paste this here. Right? And then we need like this. So authentication here. Something like this, right? So new Jira client. And then here, So this is going to be login details dot domain, and then this is going to be login details dot username, and then this is login details dot password, right?
Okay.
So
Where do you Jira client? Where do you get Jira client from? Go Jira.
Jira client is here. Jira dot new client here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So then return error, and then here we return nil. Okay.
Okay.
So now I need to be careful because I'm printing my password. So let's try and be careful here. Right. So one thing I'm going to change. Oh, you know what? Let me do a fake password. Because we need to check that it's not working first, right?
Yep.
And then, so let's do go build. So login.go line 28. So this is login details like so. So go build. Cannot refer to unexported FMT print line. What? FMT dot result. What? Undefined FMT print line. What are we talking about?
Can I refer to FMT? Just search for FMT.
No, this is here. FMT. It's a print line. What is it? I never remember.
What are you trying to Google?
FMT dot print line. Just 1 second. So let's see what it is. FMT T dot print line. Oh, I don't see print line. I see print F. What? I was
Looking at
sure.
Google Doc.
I was pretty sure. Yeah, I'm looking at the. Was pretty sure there's a print line. Yeah, there it is, print line. Oh, it's print N. Okay, so let's do this. What I don't understand what. Oh, okay. Okay, I had a private thing. All right, so this is print line. All right, so go build, and now gong, log in. Right, and I have username, so this is my username. This is the password. And then this is globality.atlassian.net. Unable to log in. Please check your credentials.
Okay, that's what we want. That's good.
All right, so now I'm gonna do gong login and my password. Successfully authenticated. Saved login details to disk. Right?
Okay.
So this is pretty nice.
Successful. Oh, okay. So this is working already.
Yeah, so we have both ways, right? One, we say, hey, I'm unable to log in. and second is, hey, I'm logged in and I saved it to the disk.
Okay.
So Dimitri is asking. Sorry, Dimitri, I missed your question. I don't know if you, when you typed it in, are you going to do only tutoring or maybe work on some of your own projects? This is my project. Um, this is my project. And yeah, so I don't know why it's tutoring, but this is my project. Okay, so we have this nice thing here. And so now if we actually go here, then this is complete. So Gong login is actually complete. We have the prompt for the password and username, the Jira domain. We store those in a file, and then we verify that the login is correct.
Yeah.
So this is pretty nice, and it's all Golang, and it's all from scratch.
So by now, if we authenticate it once, are we done with authentication altogether? Like, is this authentication gonna give us like a cookie or some persistence that will recognize us, so we don't have to authenticate again?
No, you need to authenticate every time you do. No, but so the thing is, and this is actually a good question. So what we will need, so this is saving the details, but it's verifying using using the memory, the object in memory, right?
Yeah.
So what we'll need to add, and this is something we'll add, in a few minutes here. What we'll need to add is a way to load the details from the disk.
Load the detail from the disk. Like what details?
The
Details
the
are
username, the
already.
password, because
It's
they're,
already in the disk.
yeah, but we need to load it from there. So what is it if it's on the disk? Right? So you know what I'm saying? Right now, we have your username, password, and the domain from what you typed. We verify that with using what you typed, and then we save it. But if I now need to use those details elsewhere, not in the context of login, I need to load it from the disk.
You do, yes.
All right? So this is what I'm saying. But the first thing is to use the load, right? Cool. So we have the login, and now what we can do is add some README. And for the README, I'm actually going to copy over the one that I had in the previous project. Just because, it's just a lot of typing. So README here. And then this is GitHub cancel dev. Flow, README. All right, so this is, and then this is Gong summary. So JG flow, Gong G. So we use Gong login. So this is login. So Gong login will prompt for your password, prompt for your username, and this is actually not correct now. So login. So authentication. All right. So login will check your credentials against Jira. If login is successful, if login is, if details are correct, it will save the login details to disk. By default, this goes to home.gong.ini. All right.
Cool.
All right. So we have this here. One thing though, here, I don't want to print the results here. And
Is that open source?
of course, it's open source. So here's the project for the people in the chat room. And yeah, there it is, Gong.
Go.
So we have this main.go. As you can see, we have everything here. This, I don't actually need this, so I'm going to remove it in the next version. And we have the logging with the username, the password, the new login details, and all of it. We have the README, and everything is nice. All right.
Okay. Pretty good.
So now we still have like 30 minutes. So do you want to continue, or are you dead?
I just haven't got enough sleep in the last 2 days. I actually would like to take a break here. So
All right. So let's take a break here. And yeah. So let's take let's take a break here. So we have a login working. And the next thing after the login is to be able to create a branch off of a ticket. And the third is to create, so every commit will be tagged with the link to the issue, to the ticket. All right.
hey, is it easy to get like a Jira account? I want to kind of play with this on my local.
I have absolutely no idea.
All right. I'll experiment with it tomorrow. Maybe get like a Jira free account and see if, because I kind of want to try this with Pivotal Tracker, but then I have to use another set of library like Pivotal Tracker, authentication, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll play with it. I think it should be relatively straightforward.
All righty then. So thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye.
Thank you.